All right, welcome back to the Built to Grow podcast. I'm your host, Tim Lyons, in the studio, joined by Randy Angston.
I'm telling you, I'll never get used to it.
Yeah.
Neither will our listeners.
Neither will the listeners, and the listeners are gym owners, and gym owners need to be at the Grow Summit. I'm going to make we're down to, what?
Days.
A week, couple weeks out. GrowSummitAZ.com. Leave it at that. Okay, let's jump into this episode today, guys. We are talking about when is it the right time to order a replacement. What do I mean? A replacement for yourself, okay? A lot of the gym owners we work with, one of the major and number one goals is to remove themselves from the operation, to create a true business that runs on systems, not on them. And when is the right time, right? And this question came up in the Facebook group, so I appreciate whoever asked this question. I think it was Jake. And it was a great question because, he's like, we're growing our EFT, this is great. When is it the right time to to hire a director to maybe take some of the role and responsibilities out from me? And, of course, just like many of the answers, it depends.
100%.
Right?
Yep.
It depends. What does it depend on? Well, let's take a global look at the fitness business, your business. Your business is, at the end of the day, is to make money, right? You have income coming in. At the end of the day, you got all these expenses come out, and then you're left with something here. Like, that's the point, right? We're not here for charity. Mm-hmm. Business is to make profit, right? So within those expenses and the profit lines, your lifestyle is impacted, right? Do you live the life as an owner that you want with the money that you're making from the operation? And a lot of times it's no. It's no. So how are you going to afford to hire somebody then in turn reduces your ability to pay for your lifestyle out of the operation because you got to pay for this next person? So the question I have, or really the question I would ask back, is like, hey, how's your lifestyle? Do you have other income sources? Is this it? Like, are you making enough money to be able to afford that next, second in command or whatever it is? And only you can answer that. Like, I can't answer that, right? If you're not making a profit, then the answer is obviously no. You don't have enough money to even pay for the new person. But let's just say you are making a profit. Let's just say you're making $40,000, $50,000 a year, paying yourself, and there's some owner draw built in, and maybe a cell phone in there, or like a car payment, or and there's like $50,000 of profit. A situation like that, if you're living off of the $50,000 or $60,000 or even $100,000, if that's built into this and this is where you're at and you still have some profit, then absolutely get yourself out of the operation, hire somebody in there, put some incentives in place where it's like a commission based or something that as the business grows, they can make more money and you're not just out of pocket right up front.
It gives them incentive to grow the business while you're in your absence. Yeah.
Yeah. The caveat to this whole thing is just because you're not in the business anymore doesn't mean you sit at home.
Yeah, I was going to
find other ways to generate revenue, because what'll happen is you'll find another way to quickly replace the cost that maybe that new director is, and maybe you can make even more money doing something else than maybe the gym operation, which is very common, by the way.
And I think that's where it has to start. I don't think if you look at the whole objective as a whole and just say, hey, I want to remove myself from the day-to-day operations, that might be way too big of a jump or a grasp for somebody in the business. Start looking at the different areas of the business, the roles and the actual functions of the job that are on your plate as the owner. What are those tasks? Are you still on the training floor? Get off the floor, right? Maybe within, working out your way out of the business, there are aspects you can start to take off of your plate. And I think that's the way that most gym owners go about it, right?
Yeah. That you have to.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the logical way.
But to your point, we talk about it a lot in our coaching program. We've said it on the show. You as the business owner, the value that you bring to the business and the time from your time invested into it should carry more weight than the roles that you're assigning, pay to within your business. Meaning, the person at your front desk. Right? If you were to pay yourself the wage that you're paying an individual to do that work, you're underpaid. as the owner of the business, right? Your time should be spent on other areas of the business that impact the needle and the growth of that business in a better, a stronger light. What areas can you increase revenue the greatest? What aspects of the business can you as the business owner work on that do create those leaps and bounds? And so I think starting to find what tasks on your plate actually equate to the greatest gains in your business, that could be one of the easiest ways to figure out that you need to get the hell off the training floor. I mean, it's a difficult decision. And I think that while it's a desire for many gym owners, it's the how and the understanding of being able to do it that is the hard part.
Yeah.
The cash flow is one thing, but control, being close to your clients.
Not feeling like somebody can do as good a job as you.
Or experiencing that, maybe it's a coaching opportunity, right? Nobody's ever going to treat your business like you. It's your business. It wasn't their idea to go put your name on the walls, right? It's just a natural thing. To your point, if you can put somebody in with some incentive to move the needle of the business, cool. They've got a little more skin in the game. They might actually take some more. But also you're not out full blown salary day one when you couldn't afford it. At least let them grow into it. So as they make more, they generate more revenue, they can make more money. And you're not out all of it up front. There's no huge burden up front. But yes, the gym owner on the training floor is a tough one because most gym owners, probably enjoy it. They do. For sure.
The longer they get into it, maybe they don't enjoy it as much. But if you're a driven gym owner, you have to know by you training clients, you are leaving a lot on the table and you're stifling the growth of your business because you're not growing the business training, reps and sets. You just aren't.
No.
It's natural to you. You feel most comfortable. You're probably the best coach on the floor in the whole gym. It makes total sense. But you have to be out there thinking in the back of your head, oh my gosh, I'm not growing the business. If you're not thinking that, you're missing the point.
I think it all starts with let's define where a gym owner's focus should be. I mean, you said at the beginning, right? If your focus as a business owner is on anything other than the growth of your profit in your business, gross and then net, you're focused on the wrong thing, period.
So the first thing you would do would be sales and marketing. Those two things drive revenue. The direction of the business, the culture would also kind of play into the strategic brain of the visionary of the operation. Where do we see this, 6, 12, 2 years from now? Like, what does this look like? So if you don't have a consistent flow of leads, if you're not making sales, you're not marketing internally, that's where the gym owner needs to be fixing all that.
And that goes back to our last episode about, putting yourself in a position where if this is the area of the business that needs attention, it's your obligation as the owner to go figure out what that solution is for the business. Go educate yourself in the marketing and the sales realm if you don't have it, or go work with, this is the who, not how, right? It's not always about learning it yourself, going and implementing it. Sometimes it's about putting the right person in that seat. Maybe there is somebody in your organization that sells a hell of a lot better than you as the owner. It would be detrimental to your business to put yourself back in that, or to put yourself in that seat. Let's put them in there to a greater capacity, perhaps.
Correct.
Right? Maybe they need to come off the training floor and be a full-time sales agent for you or something. But you as the owner is the one making those decisions. Even when it comes to pursuing knowledge, the who, not a how, is a great, I heard this the other day and it kind of changed the way I looked at that phrase. Don't necessarily just go pursue the information. Go look at who's doing it, right? So who is doing what you're looking to do successfully, not just what are they doing? Because a lot of times it's not just about, we could literally have two tasks and two people right next to each other and one can outperform the other.
All the time.
You know what I mean?
All the time,
so it's not just the information, it's the application as well. So if you're looking to bring something in the business, pursue the information, but go find and surround yourself with people that are doing that and doing it well, right? So if it's marketing for your business, there's a million different internet marketing groups, coaches, programs. Careful for sure. But you have to be surrounded by some of that information, right? And it's do the due diligence to find out who is the cream of the crop. Start to figure out who you want to listen to, because there's a million different ways to skin a cat, but some do it well and some will sell you it, but there's nothing on the back end. So
yeah, a lot to think about. I know. It's funny, most business owners have to face most of these things, but it's very interesting that the gym owners that we know, they just wear all the hats. They're in mostly because there's not a whole lot of money to go around, that they end up having to do some of these things. But like, I think of a lawyer, that they're not learning Facebook ads.
Hell no.
They are outsourcing the shit out of that. Look at an accountant or a, I don't know, dentist or freaking, maybe a restaurant even. Maybe some of them are mom and pop, but the professionals out there, I mean, they're not learning Facebook ads. They're not learning how to do automation. They're not learning how to even do half the stuff that you're doing.
I think as a business owner, the desire is to figure out is to create a timeline for getting your ass out of every one of those seats as fast as possible. Should be right. Like, who is the person that it reminds me of Mike's conversation back in Orlando, right? As a business owner, your job is job creation. It's not fulfillment. And if you think about your business that way, and the levers of the business and the seats of the bus, and like, what are my controllables within my four walls that isn't just go do the work myself. If you start to kind of transition your mindset around that to be the norm, then some of this stuff will start to happen. I think you'll start to see your business a little differently. You start realizing, so-and-so sells a hell of a lot better than the person over here that I have doing it. Why don't I try and, transition this person into more of that role? Let's test the business. Let's see how it goes. And that's the fun and the control aspect of being an owner of a business. It's all up to you.
You make those moves. Make those moves, man.
But you have to do them. If you want to get your way out, or if you want to get out.
A lot of what we talk about, and even on the last episode, is get your ass in gear. Take action. Don't sit on this stuff. Go find the resources and get it done. So to recap, what we're talking about here today is like, the big desires get out of the operation. Cool. What are the tasks that you are doing that are low income producing or zero income producing activities? Get rid of those. Replace yourself. Coach to that. Don't let those things just fall apart. And then start focusing your attention on income producing activities, whatever they are. Oh, you don't know how to do it? Go search the information. Go attack. Put people in roles. And then you'll find yourself getting done more with less time. And then all of a sudden, oh my gosh, we're actually making money. Without me, I can start sliding out and doing other things.
I'll take everyone through kind of the process that I took gym owners through when we work one-on-one or individually with finding time in their schedule, right? Because part of that process is the same thing. We're getting things off of your plate and we're putting them on other, whether it be a system or a staff member, right? So the first thing that I do when we work with the gym owner is I take them through a process and they audit their time. Because if you want to remove yourself from the business, you have to know what the business is. What are the functions of the business that are on your plate today? My biggest advice would be go and spend, a couple days in your average business, average weeks. Now I'm not talking, going into Black Friday where, it's mayhem or, you're using that as an average. Just go your typical work week. Track 3 days worth of your time. Literally everything as granular as you can make it. To the point of, when you're in the office and you're working on your laptop or you're doing something behind the scenes, don't just write office time. That's not doing you any good, right? Sending follow-up emails to prospects. I'm creating a marketing campaign or launching a marketing campaign. I had 3 consultations. That's the type of specifics that need to be there. Once you have that written, then you take that list and you can put it through the lens of what we call automate, delegate, and eliminate. First and foremost, I actually do them backwards. I go eliminate first, because right off the bat, there's things on your plate that you just shouldn't be doing. I mean, it could be 20 minutes on scrolling Facebook. It could be whatever it may be. There's things you shouldn't be spending time.
I ran to Costco for water bottles or something.
There you go, right? Like a task that you as a business owner probably should, exactly, right? Or like Amazon, same day, cost you nothing, right?
Yeah, but just an example.
Perfect example. Eliminate it right away. Delegate. This is where we have other members of the staff that these are tasks that should be on their plate or could be. To your point, maybe they're not going to do it as well. Well, in our business, if they can do it about 80% as effective, We put them in that role and we coach them the rest of the way. But there's opportunity to move that task to somebody else's plate, which gives you the time back that you need, right? And then the last would be automate, and this is where systems come into play. Is this something that can become automation, like a system like Keep or our client lifecycle automation? Or is there an aspect of programming design, right? We've got Semi-Private Pro. Automate a task of the business. I mean, Zach just had a conversation. The gentleman spends 2 hours every single night doing custom programming for his semi-private gym.
I could see that.
How many of our listeners are doing that right now? We know it happens.
God, imagine that alone, putting a semi-private pro into place, and
I would close my gym.
10 hours a week back to you.
What is 10 hours of your week worth to your business?
$1 million.
Now, here's the thing, but it's huge. $1 million. But this is exactly where you start to assign value. So now that you found time.
Yep.
Back to the other thing that you said, it's replacing the free time that you have now with income producing activities. I don't care if you're hitting the streets and you're creating JV partnerships with other, health focused businesses in your area. What is a productive use of your time for the owner of a business? That's how you're going to move the needle of your business faster than anything else, and find yourself working on the most impactful areas and not the fluff of the day-to-day operations. Start there. That will lead you to, we took Dell, for example. He literally, that was a big shift for him. He goes, he was a guy that just, something had to happen, he would just go do it.
Just do it. Most gym owners like that.
Exactly.
I used to be like that.
Remember when we yelled at everyone for still fixing their equipment? These are the things that if you still have the mentality of, I'm going to go fix that equipment, you're not getting yourself out of the day-to-day.
Or I'm going to go train that class this afternoon to save $20.
You got the wrong mindset. You're stepping over pennies, or stepping over dollars to pick up pennies type of thing, right?
But again, you can't sit on your ass with all this free time, because you'll find yourself, oh my gosh, I'm not, what do I even do? Be intentional in what you do, go drive the revenue, and game changes immediately. Because
it all goes back to that Parkinson's law. If you don't find something to fill that time with, your time will be filled by something that you didn't choose it.
Yeah.
And you'll either get sucked back into the operations, or you'll get, you'll start to watch that stuff slip because your time's spent wasted on nothing that's productive.
Correct. Well, good. Hopefully this guy, this helps. This was a great episode. Everybody's nodding their head. Yeah. Good episode.
The live studio audience.
Where's the applause? There they are. Let it play a little bit. Let me relish in the applause. Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, that's it for this episode, guys. Until next time, keep changing lives. We'll see you at the Growth Summit. See ya. Bye.
All right, and thank you for listening to that episode of the Built to Grow podcast, where we help gym owners win. Now, do you want to connect with me and other gym owners online? All you need to do is join our private Facebook group, Business Talk with Fitness Professionals. Just head on over to Facebook and type in Business Talk with Fitness Professionals, and when you do, we're going to give you our 10 marketing strategies 7-figure gym owners use to win. I look forward to seeing you in the next episode. Until then, keep building something great.